Yeah.
So, boa tarde, buenas tardes,
Boa
and good
tarde.
afternoon to everyone. We are very happy to welcome today Gustavo Guimarães from Very Latin, a director of sales, who has a beautiful presentation for us. And you can see Caroline, we don't see your picture, but I know you're behind the scene and will be
Is
helping
here.
with the question, sales manager. So, my dear, would you like to start? Huh? And
Yes,
let's go.
absolutely. It will be my great pleasure. Thank you again, Dominic, for your time. Thanks for everyone, every single one of you that took a half an hour of your time. I know how busy your schedules might be, just to listen a little bit more about Brazil. I promise that it's gonna be so worth it. Today we prepared a really special presentation for the Brazilian hidden gems, you know, some really special places and itineraries that would make you think a little bit out of the box. First of all, we start here with this beautiful picture of Fernando de Noronha. I don't know if you all heard about this beautiful island that we have here in the northeast region of Brazil, in the Atlantic, and right in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. It's such a pearl. It's like the most gorgeous place that you could possibly imagine, and it's a really great destination that you could sell along with the Brazilian itinerary. So it's gonna be. I will first start with a quick reminder of what we've been through these last webinars, and then I'm gonna go deep into these suggestions of itineraries and destinations that I'm thrilled here to show you all. So thank you so much for your time again, and let's get started on our new journey.
Wonderful.
So, as you know, or for who hasn't been here before, I would just go quickly through it. Very Latin is a part of TTW Group, a very proud member of TTW Group. It's our newborn baby brand, but with a lot of experience and a lot to offer. TTW Group has been in the market with all these other brands that you might be familiar with, especially for the American market, the Ski USA, which is our office in Miami, and we're starting we started a few years ago actually to feel this need of having this inbound company to actually show you guys what Brazil is all about and to explore Brazil in all the ways that you could possibly imagine for your clients to have, for you and your clients especially, to have the very best experience they could possibly imagine here in Brazil, and maybe also connecting with our neighboring countries. But Brazil is where we're located, it's where we were born, it's where we have our DNA, and it's also, as we spoke a few times in the past, is a place that you could easily stay here for a week. A week would be not enough, I think. A week to 10 days, 15 days. Maybe if you fall in love with your country for the rest of your life. There's a lot of people that something that it's quite usual to happen, but it's a country that would take you a lifetime for you to discover. I'm a Brazilian. I'm absolutely passionate about my country, and I just keep going and going. And every time I have a holiday or a weekend, I always try to discover something new. And this country keeps surprising me every time. So, very Latin, our main intention here as your DMC in Brazil, it's to give you absolutely to your clients 24/7 support. Our intention is for you to have the Brazilian journey of your client all in our hands if possible, so we can take care of every single detail. From the moment that the person arrives in the airport, you would have right outside the aircraft someone waiting with a sign that would go through immigration, would take you to our private vehicle that will take you to your beautiful suite, to your client's beautiful suite in a beautiful hotel. And from that on, our intention is really to take care, and you can rely on us for events such as Carnival, soccer matches, and special events, art galleries or special spots and tables in our main restaurants, as we have amazing contacts in these places. And we are here, we are 100% local, with the best cars, with the best fleet, and the amazing guides and local experts that you can count on us to adapt and make the most special and personalized itinerary for your guest. So a little bit, so private jets, it's not a problem for us to, if the guest has this this type of budget, we can easily have Brazil all connected with private jets and helicopters. São Paulo has the second largest helicopter fleet in the world, so brand new helicopters for everyone, for all tastes. So we have yachts, especially throughout the coast of Rio de Janeiro, beautiful yachts of as many feet as you could possibly imagine, and to have all the full service chef to take you to a private island, like and as I mentioned, our vehicle, the local experts, and all this concierge service. It's really for you to we can make a WhatsApp group with your customer, with you, just for you to have this feeling of safety, and that your client will be well taken care of the whole time. Okay. So these last webinars, we spoke a little bit. We tried to classify Brazil within a few topics. I would say like this. So in Brazil, we have so many destinations. Here we listed a few that we went through in our first presentation. But especially the main point that I would like you guys to keep in mind is that Brazil is so huge and so diverse that everything that your client has in its mind, or whatever he likes to do, we can make it happen here. So if it's a person more interested in landscapes and wildlife, oh my God, that's a handful of places and experiences. Beaches, the most beautiful beaches in the planet. We have it here, with the largest coastline, the largest tropical coastline, I would say. It's so huge and so diverse. It's amazing. Historical cities that count back from the 16th and 17th century, with our Portuguese colonization. So especially through the state of Minas Gerais, and where we had the gold rush, we have so many historical sites and churches. It's such a beautiful piece of the world's history, you know. So it's you can find it all here in Brazil as well. Beautiful restaurants and cities such as Rio de Janeiro, São Paulo, Belo Horizonte, culinary journeys throughout the south of Brazil, art and architecture. So this is just a few examples of places that we can offer, and these types of experiences that we can offer to your guests. We discussed a little bit of some itineraries. Last webinar, we spoke a little bit about the, let's see if everyone remembers, but it was about two journeys. One was considering the coast of Rio de Janeiro, Salvador, and Trancoso, which makes a very nice combination. And the other one more towards the interior of the country, considering the São Paulo, and then the Amazon forest, which was some very amazing places that we explored at that moment, and Iguaçu Falls, all more towards the countryside. But as I mentioned, Brazil, there are 1,000 possibilities of combinations that we can be very creative and surprise our guests in every single step and part of the journey. So now, especially for you guys, we've made a few itineraries, one iconic itinerary throughout journey throughout our deepest forests, so to say like this, and special surprises, and 5 beach getaways in the northeast region of Brazil, which we wouldn't miss to mention. We spoke a little bit about Salvador and Trancoso, but now we're going to focus more on a few places that are not too well known. That it could definitely be a great surprise for your clients. Just put it on here. So the first itinerary that I would like to suggest you, it's a combination of the center of Brazil. The center of Brazil has a lot to offer. It's one of the last region of Brazil to be actually discovered and explored. The Brazilian colonization started throughout the coast of Brazil, and then slowly went deep inside the countryside because of the forests, the really dense vegetation. So this gave us a really nice advantage of these really untouched places and environments that we care a lot. So besides, of course, the huge Amazon forest, which is one of our main postcards that we're quite well known for, there is also in the center of Brazil our beautiful Pantanal and Bonito, which is a really beautiful places with these caves and flotations that you can do in these rivers with absolutely clear water, and Brasilia, which is the wonderland for people who like art and architecture. So these are where these places are located. You have direct flights. It's really easy to arrive in Brasilia. There are direct flights either from Europe, from Portugal, or from Panama, for example. And or it's an easy direct connection from São Paulo or Rio de Janeiro or whatever you might be. Brazil is one of the main hubs here in Brazil. So it's a great starting point, and there is a direct flight to Mato Grosso do Sul, which is the southern part here of Mato Grosso in the division they made. And this is where the Pantanal, most of the region of the Pantanal, it takes two states. Pantanal is this gigantic region that takes a little bit of Bolivia, a little bit of Paraguay, which are our neighbors here, but the main parts is here throughout the whole west of Mato Grosso do Sul and the southwest of Mato Grosso. So starting with Brasilia, it's an absolutely remarkable place. Imagine the capital of a massive country as Brazil being built in the 60s and being inaugurated from the ground, a place where there was absolutely nothing, really nothing. Just really unexplored Cerrado, which is this vegetation of a more of a dry region of Brazil. And they built this capital really in the heart, in the middle, in the center of Brazil. So everything can be considered as brand new, like the architecture from Oscar and Niemeyer. It was inaugurated in 1960. April 21st of 1960, with this amazing architecture from the governmental buildings and the way that the city was built in the shape of an airplane, with the buildings where actually people live, the residential buildings in the wings. In the heart of the airplane, it has the governmental buildings, and in the cockpit, I would say like this, there are the president's house, the vice president's house, right, in the front of the airplane. And in the back of the airplane, there is the part for shopping and the hotelier zone and the bars and the restaurants. So it's a quite unique destination. Now it's much bigger than the airplane. The city has grown a lot, but this part Brasilia was planned. It's really nice. You don't have like a stop sign, a stoplight. Everything was designed to not to have a stop sign, and you always go around the intersection. So it's a really interesting way that the city was built. So the iconic landmarks, the Cathedral of Brasilia, it's something that you cannot even explain with words. This is the interior of the Cathedral of Brasilia. It's a Catholic church, but it's a cathedral, but it's absolutely gorgeous. You can see it here from the outside, and all these amazing buildings, the bridges, the artificial lake that you have in Brasilia that you can actually go for a swim or rent a boat and spend the day there. Some things that you won't imagine doing in the heart of Brazil. And the Itamaraty Palace, it's a place that you go always, wow, looking up and seeing all these beautifully designed modern style buildings by Oscar Niemeyer. So this is a suggestion of hotels. I'm not going to go too deep into the hotels, but this is one of our best partners there, the B Hotel in Brasilia. has some really spacious suites, great service. And then from Brasilia, it could be a stop of just a couple of nights. One full day in Brasilia usually is enough for you to get to know the main places. And then you move on to Pantanal with a direct flight. Pantanal, it's one of the richest environments of the world. You have many, it's really good all year round, but there are some special dates during this, the end of March and this intermediate season and the dry season. Usually we consider it as being a little bit more well recommended. It's the high season for them because during the dry season, of course, it's where you can spot the animals quite easier, more easily. It's where you find the jaguars and those beautiful scenarios of, it kind of looks more of a savanna. And the intermediate season, it's a great time for you to spot birds. It's where you have the birds like really flying around. It's the revoada that it's called. It's a beautiful moment during the sunset. And I mean, the Pantanal, it's the same latitude as the Okavango Delta, so kind of the same climate and the seasons. So it's an absolute paradise for bird watching, which I know it's a big deal in America. It's tourism that really moves things around, and usually in Pantanal, the main public that they have there are from the US and usually bird watchers. So you can imagine really the paradise for people who likes bird watching. It's the best place to be. Imagine all these araras and tucanos flying over your head. It's a really close contact that you have with the nature. You really feel connected to it. And of course, the night excursions, another huge highlight that it really feels like you did it all in your life. It's when you are face to face with a Brazilian jaguar, because these guys are a little bit tricky. They're hard to find. You need to be on the right track, in the right place, in the right moment. It's very different from a safari in Africa that you have all these animals surrounding. It's not, I'm not saying that it's easy to spot them in Africa, but it's a bit more challenging in the Pantanal. And once you see them, it's such a beautiful moment. It's something that you can't really explain with words. And the culture of the Pantanal is still like more of a countryside culture, with amazing food and great hospitality as well. Horseback riding, considering those huge fazendas, those huge farms and properties that they have there. It's something really, really incredible. And the boat safaris is something that you can do most of the time of the year. Sometimes even during the dry season, there are some places that never go actually drive. So a little bit about the bird watching. The night excursions is also, you see here, an owl. It's also bird with the night habits that you would find mostly in your night excursions as well, and on the alligators and animals like this. And there are some animals that you really only find in South America, in Brazil, in Pantanal, in this region. Some really incredible and adaptable species that you find there. So a little bit, a great partner of ours, a great partner of all of us is Cayman. Beautiful property, one of our main recommendations down in the Pantanal area. So it was built by an English family back in the days. Now it has been through a lot of renovation, but it never left this is traditional style, and it's greatly located right in the heart of the Pantanal, one of the best places for you to spot the animals. This is the property during the wet season, but and it's amazing how it all changes throughout the year. You also have Bonito, which is so the access to Pantanal. It could be a flight from Brasilia to Bonito, which has an airport that it's a couple of hours away from this Pantanal region, or you can fly to Campo Grande, and it's also 3.5 hours away from the Pantanal region. So, but I mean, the Bonito, it's just a 2.5 hours away from Pantanal. So it's a really easy combination, something that you can add to your client's experience. Bonito, it's all about the caves, and Brazil has a really old geography, like really old mountains. So these caves that we have here in Brazil are beautifully sculpted throughout millions and millions of years. And this is where the place where you have these absolutely transparent, clear water that you do these floatings throughout the river. You just put your snorkeling mask and you dive into another dimension, I would say. You go just like floating really slowly along with the river. It's kind of like a therapy. And then you see all these freshwater fishes and species, and so colorful. It's so beautiful. It's something really indescribable. It's a little bit more about Bonito. There's a special spot, and it's a really great it's very well, it has a great format for tourism. It's a really well prepared place to receive visitors. So an example of the place that we have a great partnership there, Pousada Boirá. You don't have luxurious accommodation in Bonito, but the experience is absolutely worth it, the stop for a couple of nights. Once you're in Pantanal, don't miss Bonito, okay? So here, moving on to our beautiful Northeast region, the region that absolutely has my heart. I think maybe in another life I was born in the Northeast of Brazil and not in São Paulo. It's a place that I'm really passionate about it. And you have to feel it. You have to be there. You have to experience the simplicity and of the people. So it feels like they don't know the beauties that they have right outside of their houses and right in their hands. So just a few places we selected. This is where they are located. So São Miguel dos Milagres here, it's in the states of Alagoas, like well known as the Brazilian Caribbean, crystal clear, beautiful water. Preá, kite surf paradise. All this coast here of Ceará is the place to be if you like adventure, sports, and especially kite surfing. Fernando de Noronha, it's this island that we have right outside here, but it's a part of the state of Pernambuco. And also Itacaré in Bahia with its beautiful beaches, and Pipa. It's not highlighted, but it's here in the states of Rio Grande do Norte. So here's São Miguel dos Milagres, as I mentioned, the most incredible place regarding the color of the water. It's where you really find these sometimes here in Brazil, especially in the southeast coast of Brazil, you have this kind of like the water more emerald colored water. This is where you have like really turquoise water, like this really crystal clear water. It's absolutely beautiful, this coast. We have amazing properties and some pictures here just for you to have an idea. One of the largest coral reef in the planet. You have, of course, the reef barrier in Australia, in the Belize, they are gigantic. But the Brazilian reef, it's also just it's really, really big, really massive, and you have a really special either snorkeling or diving experience in this region. This is where you have the encounter with the manatee, which is a very unique species that you have here in our coast. And brand new, you already might have heard of Inhotim here in Brazil, this beautiful open air museum. And 1.5 hours away from São Miguel dos Milagres, you also have a beautiful open air museum. So it's a place where you can combine diving, relaxing on the beach, seeing the manatee, have some sailing cruises throughout this coast, and you can also mix with art. So it's a very complete and beautiful destination. This is the place where we usually recommend. These two properties are sisters. Pedras do Patacho more to couples, and Casa Brasileira, it's only like 9 accommodations, and it's really a place that we usually can make a buyout, or it can be more designed for a multi-generation. And this place, it's beautiful, and it's right on the beach. Preá, the kiteboarding heaven. That's a really paradise. It's a place where you can actually enjoy all these activities like as I mentioned, the kite surfing, the four-wheel drive, the quad bike, have a jet ski, this boats. I don't remember the name of this sport in English, but when you're pulled here, stand-up paddle at those beautiful flat water beaches. So you can have it all. It's absolutely beautiful. And Cassana property, it's also a great partner of ours. Some really exclusive villas for couples or families that works perfectly. Fernando de Noronha, just speeding here through. I wish I had more time to talk more about each beautiful destination, but Fernando de Noronha, as I was mentioning, it's one of our postcards, but usually it's not a place that comes up in your mind at first when you're gonna recommend an itinerary in Brazil. But I really think you should change this this mindset, because Fernando de Noronha, it's absolutely beautiful. Easy access from São Paulo or from some capitals in the northeast of Brazil. It's a great combination with Pipa, which is the next one that I'm going to show you. And that's where you're going to see dolphins, an amazing wildlife sea in the ocean, marine wildlife. It's where this is one of the best places for you to see that. An amazing island for trekking, and great accommodation and a nice nightlife. It's an island, but you still have beautiful bars and beach clubs and people and excitement. It's really nice. So the dolphins, the turtles, the diving, it's really amazing. And it's the brand new property there and a great partner of ours as well. Then we have Pipa. This is the place where you can be before or after going to Noronha. You have direct flights from Natal, which is just 1 hour, 1.5 hours away from Pipa. An amazing beach where you have all this the scenario of this cliffs, this falésias, it's how we call it here. Amazing beaches. It's really local. You have Trancoso, which is more of like a jet setter destination, also in the northeast of Brazil. This is for you to have a more authentic experience, I would say. Great hotels as well. Toca da Coruja, right downtown the center of Pipa. The center of Pipa is beautiful. All like those little shops and the restaurants, all the houses painted in white. It's some people say that kind of looks like Greece. It has it reminds a little bit. And then also the last but not least, Itacaré. Itacaré really is the place to be in Brazil nowadays. If you don't want to be right into the craziness of Trancoso, the super hype of Trancoso, you can go to Itacaré. Itacaré, you have the main downtown area, which is quite nice, but you also have those really small desert beaches. It's a surfing paradise as well. If you have clients interested in surfing, Itacaré would be a dream for these guests. So then you also have the village with great gastronomy, great hotels. You can go through to the mangroves as well that you have surrounding the area of Itacaré. You have the presentation. It's a place where really this Cocoa Coast that we call from of Brazil. It's where you actually have this amazing experience. It's where you see people actually playing capoeira, which is the mix of dance and fight that we have here in Brazil, out on the street. So it's a really authentic destination that we still have here in Brazil. Barracuda is a great partner of ours there. They have beautiful villas, but that can be compared to the beautiful villas that you would have throughout the world, of 4 bedrooms, 5 bedrooms, or a villa for a couple, or the rooms in the main building. It's an absolute great choice with amazing views. So this is it. I tried to get it all together. to make it very interesting, you know, I'm always really excited to speak about Brazil. But thank you, you guys, so much for your time. This is the closing of this first time of how to sell Brazil, our first webinar, the second webinar with those more traditional and well-known places, and here more considering the hidden gems. But still, I would like to highlight that we have shown you not even maybe 20% of what our country has to offer. But thank you so very much for your time. I'm like really excited to be here and to share with you guys all these amazing beauties of our country. Thank you, Dominic, for the space.
Thank you very much, Gustavo, for this very interesting presentation, and it's a pleasure to revisit some of the places I have been myself and some of the one I have never been. Like Fernando de Noronha is definitely somewhere I want to go. But we have few questions. So Céline, you're asking why the visa are once again required.
Oh, I'm sorry. How come visas are once again required?
I don't think
some diplomatic questions that are a little bit out of our hands, but I assure you that we're gonna, you know, give you all the instructions that as soon as it's on, we'll give you the information and the support needed to your clients to get the visa the most effortless way possible.
Céline, you're asking why you don't have in Quebec province a tour operator that would specialize in eco-natural tour, but you know, you don't need a tour operator, you just go straight to our DMC, and you're taken care of. I know them since many years, actually. Before you became very Latin, you were already an expert doing this, but you didn't have a name yet. So Brett, you said guided for sure. Céline, what is the best way to get to the... Céline, I don't see the rest of the phrase.
Fernando. Let us know, Céline, we're curious. Voilà. Cécile.
Cécile. Fernando de Noronha, just jaw dropping indeed.
Yes, just jaw dropping.
Cécile, you said the northwest.
Oh, the northeast of Brazil. You can have some from São Paulo. You have direct flights for all the cities. Usually São Paulo and it is the best hub. It's the northeast of Brazil. It's very well connected with Europe as well, as there are direct flights from Air France from Paris to Fortaleza, or for TAP Portugal, all the main capitals. But from the US, usually the main hub would be through São Paulo, then combining south and north of Brazil.
Thank you, Gustavo. Brett would like to know, did Nanai took over an existing property or they built new?
No, it's brand new, actually. Not that I'm aware of. We went through the whole process of construction. I'm not sure if there was something there before, but definitely it wasn't a hotel. They are neighbors of Pousada Maravilha, which is also a very traditional property in Noronha. But Nanai itself, it's brand new. We didn't took over any other property.
So then you want to know if the beach are supervised or the archipelagos that you have mentioned? What do you mean security-wise? But I think most
some of the places, yes, but some are very maybe
wild and natural.
It's very wild, yeah, and you just have to take care of yourself a little bit. But your guests will be guided, and our intention is to be with them throughout the whole time and telling them the best tips of where to go. But a lot of the beaches there that I've mentioned, they have lifeguards, and it's as I mentioned, there are some really absolutely safe places there, as it's really distant from the urban centers and very exotic.
Especially, as you mentioned, Fernando de Noronha.
Yes.
Very, and yes, hotel infrastructure on the island are a little smaller maybe than on land. Well, that's what I think you're meaning, Céline, when you're asking for the size of the infrastructure.
Céline, so our archipelagos more for luxury travel. Must be small. Yeah, they're quite in this the island of Fernando de Noronha, the archipelago. The hotels are very boutique. You don't have big resorts, and all these places that I've mentioned, they are mainly boutique hotels where you have this really home and authentic feeling.
Laura, you said this was wonderful. Thank you. Is there a recording? Yes, of the first webinar.
Absolutely.
We can resend it together.
Yeah.
Roxana, super informative. Christina,
Thank you, Roxana.
that will be
Yes.
required starting in April. Huh?
Yes, so far. Let's see. We're gonna keep our eye really close to it, and we're not gonna leave you guys unattended regarding this. We'll count on us for all the support that you might need. Okay.
Turin, Eduardo. Kahal Sur Israel Synagogue was the first synagogue in the Americas established in Recife in 1636, and a community of about 1,450 Sephardic Jews living there. Huh? Very interesting to know. Brad Joseph Royal, for those attending, Nanai has a sister property in Porto de Galinhas in Pernambuco. That would be a great combo.
It was born, actually. That's a great idea, Brett. Actually, it's a great combo to think about it. They're from the same brand, but they're very distinct, you know, like one is more boutique hotel in an island, and the other one is more of a resort with a lot of infrastructure and beautiful natural pools right in front of it. It's absolutely, it's a great combination of Nanais, and there is a direct flight from Recife to Fernando de Noronha, so it's intentionally built like that.
Vanessa, thank you. Every place looks beautiful. Kata, hola Kata. She would like your email address.
Her mail is out. Yeah. Well, can you write it, Carol?
You can write it in the chat,
email.
but you will also be sending all the email.
Yeah, we're going to be sending everything, all the certificates, and we'll be very happy to. Now we're going to see the attendance of all the webinars, and we're going to do this nice. We'll pick the lucky winner for the 2 nights, but you're all going to hear from us within the next hours with the certificate and everything. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you very much. I don't see any more questions, so thank you everyone for joining this webinar. You know that tomorrow we are actually going to go a little more in depth in Pantanal, because tomorrow we're going to go to Cayman, which is a wonderful partner of Very Latin. And that's actually the best way to book Cayman is through Very Latin, as you're providing the transfer that Cayman does not provide. Huh? All right, so I'm going to say goodbye to everyone. Boa tarde, obrigada, thank you.
Boa tarde,
and
muito obrigado, Dominique. So it's really nice to be here with you.
Thank you. We'll see you on the next one. Huh?
Yes, absolutely.
Bye-bye.
We'll be looking forward. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.